really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Hey, motherfucker, what do you like to do?
Oh, I don't know. Play chess. Screw.
Well, let's play chess.
They give off to Jonathan Taylor. Jump cutting his way close to the goal line. He's in there. Touchdown. I-N-D-Y. Jonathan Taylor.
Wheeler finds Quan from the logo.
Here's Halliburton into the front court. Mishandled it, but gets a shot. Hits it. Hits it.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Moelle Cox and Michael Pittman Jr. to the right side. The give is to Taylor. Cuts off the block. Veering to his right. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. He's going to score. You know it. Touchdown. I-N-D-Y. Jonathan Taylor with an 18-yard run to Pater. So a goal-to-go situation for the Titans. Ball inside the 2-yard line. Cam Ward under center. Tight end left is Chig Okonkwo. Two receivers go to the right side. Now man in motion, and they fake a sweep. Booting out right is Ward, throws upfield into the end zone for a touchdown. And that's Gunnar Helm, the rookie out of Texas. And the Titans are on the board. It's a touchdown. It's now 10-6. Colts over Tennessee with 11:14 to go in the second quarter. Colts near the red zone now. Out of the pistol. Actually, they're going to move Jonathan Taylor to the right of Jones. Out of the gun now. Ball on the right hash. Shotgun snap for Jones. Looking left. He's going to take a shot and throws a laser towards the pylon. And that is a catch for Michael Pittman Jr. There's a penalty on the play, but Pittman scores a touchdown as Pittman snared it in with one hand on a 21-yard absolute dart thrown by Daniel Jones to Michael Pittman Jr. Under center, Jones on first down. They give it to Taylor, left side. He's at the 20, 25, 30, 35, down the sideline, 40, 50-yard line, still going. Taylor up in the sideline. He's got a chance. 10, 5, touchdown! Jonathan Taylor takes it 80 yards to the house. Tight roping that left sideline. No problem for the great running back going right now. It's the longest rush this season for the Colts and for Taylor. The Colts now lead 23-7. Daniel, shotgun snap, looks left, stands in the pocket. Now he's flushed to the right side. Looking,
he's got him.
Caught at the 2-yard line, and that is a touchdown for the Colts. This time it's Josh Downs with a score. A 10-yard pass. Jones to Downs. Touchdown. I-N-D-Y. Fourth red zone trip today for the Colts. We'll jump past to Jonathan Taylor. Cuts off a block. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. He's going to score again. Touchdown. Jonathan Taylor on a 19-yard. A little pop pass from Daniel Jones. Let's see how they rule that. It's either going to be a rush or a reception. Either way, it's a touchdown by Jonathan Taylor, 37-7, and it's the fourth time this season Jonathan Taylor has 3 touchdowns in a game. Final score on the Ruoff Mortgage scoreboard will be the Indianapolis Colts 38 and the Tennessee Titans 14.
All right, everybody. Matt Taylor, Rick Venturi from the Colts Radio Network right there. The Colts are 7-1 in Pittsburgh coming up next in week number 9, and then on the road to Berlin. After that, you're going to have an off week. That's your bye. And then the remainder of the season, you're going to get to Arrowhead. You're going to get some other teams mixed in there, but you could not have. Actually, you could. If you really wanted to, although I think that Denver and the Rams kind of balance each other out in terms of coulda, shoulda, woulda. But if you really wanted to think about it, this team really should be 8-0. But, man, 7-1, are you kidding me? You could barely ask for anything better than 7-1. And I don't know how much better this offense could get. It's funny. So I'm with Tony Katz this morning on 93 WIBC, and he was asking me about the defense, and, you know, the defense got after it yesterday. And while you give credit where credit is due, but I think we all understand that you have to utilize this time, and I would expect at some point, you see deals being made right now. I know the Rams ran out and got a cornerback, and then the Jaguars are talking about how, hey, we're not trading Thomas, their head coach. Liam Cohen had mentioned that. But now is the time to jump in and get something that is going to help out the rest of your team on the defensive side. You got things working right now because the way that it is, and certainly I think it's been magnified in the past 2 games, what we have witnessed is this team's offense has so outdistanced the other team that, as I've mentioned, it's like the Astros. You know, when they used to bang the trash cans to let whomever's in the batter's box know what's coming. I mean, the Colts defense, you know what's coming. And Rick Venturi brings this up all the time, and it's one of my favorite new terms. It's called first wave, and I'm a big first wave fan because that's new wave from the 1980s, right? First wave. Sirius XM 33. I'll be pissed if you go there right now, so don't. First wave. That's what you want. That's how you know that this defense is being as impactful as it can, especially in a couple of key areas that clearly against better competition can be compromised. So I may go ahead and hold my breath this week. Let's see, from right now through the remainder of this week, I think it's okay to, we always say, hey, I'm not going to hold my breath. Kind of a snarky way to say, yeah, probably not anytime soon. I think it's okay for me to hold my breath this week. I think I may. So what is it, a week from? I mean, maybe be closer, maybe be after next week. I would think, though, would you not want to, if you want to make a deal, do you want to do something? You want to bring somebody in, you want to do it prior to, maybe this weekend's game? You don't want to do it when you're on the road to Berlin. Right? This will be the week. I think I'm going to hold my breath. I'm going to hold my breath. I would have to, I think Bob Kravitz had mentioned something like this as well with the column that he did. He had mentioned, hey, now's the time for the Colts and Chris Ballard to go out and do something to further help this team. Yeah, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks nationally. If you haven't legitimized yourself to those nationally, then so what? But as I mentioned, we live in the moment, and the moment is determining that you need to go out and get a little bit more help. You need to take this season seriously. I'm going to tell you, it is so interesting, and not just with the NFL or the college football landscape, but the entirety of football. Just lump them both in. You have everything, maybe more than ever, as wide open as we have seen it. Seriously. As wide open as we have seen it. You watch IU over the weekend dismantle UCLA in just an incredible fashion to continue what IU does. And we've talked about IU, unbeaten, second ranked. But when you look around, you look at IU, hell, normally you always think, well, they can't do this very well. Well, yeah, they can, because they are a physical football team. That has always been something that you wonder. It's always the offensive line or the defensive line that you question. I remember going all the way back to the early 90s. The late Bill Walsh, when Notre Dame football first started on NBC. Yeah, I know it was a glorious time, wasn't it? And then IU had that matchup with Notre Dame. And I remember this. I was at Indiana State, probably having the time of my life on a Saturday with nothing to do, nothing to think about, watching, and Bill Walsh, this quote always, and it really has stood the test of time, he referenced IU up front defensively and offensively as, quote, smallish. Oh, God. Smallish. They have a smallish defensive line and a smallish offensive line, which what it was speaking volumes about the physical nature. And that altogether was accurate. I mean, it hurt. IU fans, I'm sure, at the time, but you're just probably happy to be there. Smallish. But IU's so physical on both sides. So physical even in the secondary. Pons is so physical at corner. When Joe Klatt talks about how he believes he is going to be, playing at a high level on Sundays, I can buy that too because he's physical. And this IU team is. And college football is, and there is not at all anything wrong with referencing it as parity, because what you have, I guess, if you want to call it this, you have some infiltrators. You have IU, you have Vanderbilt. They're infiltrating the hierarchy of college football. Now in this particular era, you don't have to be grandfathered in. You don't have to be from the deep South to have a chance. You just have to be. You have to be smart about the situation. IU's been incredibly smart about the situation. Think about this. When everybody went all over them about Kurt Cignetti, I can't believe you did that, and you gave him all this money, and, Penn State forced their hand, and Pat Kraft did this. And then since that point in time, Florida has a job open up. LSU now has a job that's opened up. That is smart. That is ahead of everything else. Because you want to keep what you have that is sustaining you and your program for the first time ever at this pace. And you may not like the world of NIL or the world of, and I know it's getting like the whole G League and Cam Reddish, that situation. There is a level of weirdness that is profound right now. But in terms of athletics, there are some out there that this era is benefiting and benefiting hugely, and IU football-wise would be one of those. And it seems they continue to hit all the right marks. The Colts continue on the field to hit all the right marks. You're 7-1. Who cares what they say nationally about your lack of schedule, the softness, the legitimacy? It doesn't matter. What matters is you're 7-1. 7-1 tells me you're not just in it, you're at the top of it right now. So take that thing and run. I was not a track man in my existence, but I know this. Take that baton and run with it. Don't drop it. Don't drop it and jack around. Oh, we know we tried. You don't want to hear that whole story because that has been the past here, right? Well, you always try to make your team better, but there wasn't anything out there that blah, blah, whatever. No, there's bodies out there that could help you right now. Go out and find them. That is where you are. That's where the Colts are. And certainly in the college football landscape, that's where IU is located right now. And that is absolutely outstanding. Love it. We got a lot to talk about over the course of the afternoon. I mean, some stuff that is really weird. And obviously this does, whenever I talk to a Colts player, Kenny Moore II was on with me on Thursday. And he got a little bit into the Pacer playoff run of a year ago and said, how cool it was to see everybody around here, sporting-wise, come together and really, surround the love of this Pacer team with what they had accomplished. And it was almost like they were just kind of taking off with that run and then as well with themselves running with it. They being the Colts, which is cool. And by the way, if you missed that conversation, podcast 1075thefan.com. Now, I know the Pacer situation, I don't know what you can do about it. Like, I sit here, and there was no sunshine or this smoky feeling of exhilaration. You know exactly what I mean. I wasn't trying to blow either up your rear ends regarding the Pacers. I truly believe, you have still seen my belief in this team. The root ideal, the root belief is how they continue to battle and continue to fight, and they do. But at some point in time, when you're down 7 and 8 or 8 guys that played huge moments for them a year ago, you're down that many dudes. I don't know what you're going to be able to do other than being 0-3 team. How's that going to work? How can that possibly work? It can't. And you can play as hard as you possibly can, as hard as we would like to see you play. So I don't know what it is with the Pacers right now. Hopefully at some point, and I don't know about the whole basketball gods thing because we've gone through this with, the results after the first quarter of Game 7. But you'd think that maybe just for a moment they could get up off the pace. I don't know if is that the price you pay for having all those close games and winning those with shots that bounce up high off the back heel and come down. And you beat the Knicks in the Garden, or coming back against the Cavaliers, or last-second shot against OKC, or a layup against Milwaukee. I don't know. Is there a price to be paid there? There shouldn't be. Shouldn't be, but it appears there is right now because everybody that puts on a uniform on this Pacer team seemingly at some point will get hurt, will get injured. And we witnessed that again last night. So Obi goes out. Eddie Gill, by the way, is going to join us coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. The former NBA guard from the Pacer Radio and Television Network will join us. I don't know what else there is to say about it right now. I mean, normally in 0-3, everybody's going to be shaking their fist. I can't believe this is going on, and this is not happening, and that's not happening. But what the hell are you going to do with this? What are you going to do with this? It's bad enough you're going to miss the best player, one of the elite-level players in the game for the season. Yeah, it's bad enough that you had a defection who hadn't put up huge numbers, but I guarantee you this, you would take those numbers from a singular player than trying to be a part of this search and find mission of anybody at all that can give you just any amount of productivity and results from the 5. I guess Tony Bradley is the latest last night. I mean, hell, he looked the best. Yeah, there's something I'm not going to hold my breath for. Somebody had sent me something last night regarding Miles, and was taking a shot at me because I had defended him over the years. And, hey, he was glad that he was in Milwaukee because that amount of money. And while I get the money factor and all that, but production-wise, you're not, because that takes a piece away that, again, you may not count on it to the level that you hope, but he was normally always there, and it certainly doesn't look a damn thing like it does right now. I mean, maybe if you do want to make the argument, if you're going to go through a season like this, you might as well not pay him, and he might as well be in Milwaukee. That's probably the most logical argument. But me, if I'm going to sit around and watch a team, I hope that team that I watch, that I am invested in, wins. I just don't see how this group can do a lot of that the way that it's put together and the circumstances surrounding it right now. That stinks. It's everybody. Hey, Matherin's getting off to just a career awesome start. Ankle turn. Obi goes out last night. I mean, it took, Andrew Nembhard, going 0-4, knocking down a couple of free throws, and then shoulder situation done. Night number 1. We went the entire offseason talking about how huge he could be and how we trusted that he would be good in filling that role for Halliburton and really being put through the test on both ends of the floor. And then now we sit here and he's not even on the floor. I don't know if there's something I got to do. Is this the price? Because you look around and some of these other teams don't have to pay this price. And I know that it's tough because you live in this world that most of you created to where if you don't win, that means you lose. So everybody wants you to be highly critical. I can't believe they didn't do this and didn't do that. You can't do that with this group right now. You say, I can't believe somebody else got injured, and I can't believe this guy's playing major minutes. And before Taylon Peter, the rookie, got injured. I can't believe I saw he and some dude named Ray J. Dennis out there together. Who are these guys? Not from me. I know who they are. But if you're asking an average fan, probably not too many know. It is a tough situation. And again, I tried to soften the blow when we were doing the crossover brought to you by Love Heating and Air with Jake. And I had mentioned, last year they got off to a bad start. But, yeah, we're talking about a different set of circumstances. And when you lose Halliburton and then you lose, say what you want about Miles, he was a major component. Be pissy all you want, but he was. And it sure as hell is better than what we have witnessed through 4 dudes so far. Yeah, I'm not holding my breath on that. But when they go out and they push it to the limit like they did last night, and they absolutely did. I thought Quinn made a great point on the broadcast, he and Kristen Airy and JJ last night, but Quinn made a great point. He said, well, that's, they're still playing hard, and that's what this team does, and he's right about that. Not in those particular words, and that's the expectation. Other than that, I don't know what expectations as of right now you can have. They go out there, they play their ass off, they are tougher than hell. That has not changed. The personnel, however, has changed drastically. We got that for you, 239-1070. The text line is wide blank open at 317-239-1070. Colts reaction, IU reaction. I don't know if Boilermaker fans want much of a reaction. I will say this. Don't get caught up in the old exhibition stuff, whether you're talking about Purdue's loss on Friday night down at Rupp or IU's win yesterday against Baylor. I will say this. Purdue's like 0-3 now on the road in these exhibitions the last 3 years with Arkansas, Creighton, and now Kentucky. IU needs to put a nice step forward. Purdue needs to knock down some shots. The Purdue football thing wasn't great over the weekend. But we do have a lot to talk about. Trade deadline. Should I be holding my breath? That's a good poll question. Should I be holding my breath? In the past, there was no way. But, man, this is a different era right now. Different situation altogether. Right on? Right on. Yeah, it's funny. Everybody, and I guess this comes from the Notre Dame faithful in this market, everybody seems to be all about talking about Brian Kelly. Who cares? I mean, that's what you know. When you go someplace and you have that particular attitude and you're above it all, above everything else, and this is the greatness you're going to bring, and that greatness is not met with those in Baton Rouge, then you're going to take your $54 million parting gift, James, which is not bad. Let's do it. $54 million. 95% of you out there would never care to coach again. I think I'd be one of you right there. $54 million. Why do we want to mess with this? Yeah, my feed, for whatever reason, wants to tell me what Paul Feinbaum thinks. I don't care what although I will say this, he knows more about that particular region. He doesn't know anything about this region, but he knows a lot about that region. So that's good. 317-239-1070. I mentioned that is the text line if you want to jump on there. I do have something to give away. I'll explain that coming up. And reasons to join me on a Tuesday. This is an incredibly, I make fun, Jake and I do all the time with when radio nerds tell us about being unique and organic. You got to be unique and organic. They're nerds, and they've never done it, but they're going to tell you how to do it, and I kind of laugh at that stuff, that nerdery in what we do. But unique and organic, if the nerds want to describe a uniqueness and a level of organism, wouldn't be right here, would it? Unique and organic. I've got for you tomorrow an incredibly unique and organic radio experience. Like, You don't have to have the nerd from radio that's never done it tell you. You can have the nerd on the radio that's doing it tell you. How about that? That is coming up. Yeah, I mentioned stuff to win as well. Hey, shout out to the bullseyeeventgroup.com, the Colts VIP tailgate. All of you winners, hopefully you had a great time. I heard from a lot of you. Our friends Tony and Warren James from London. I guess I'm not allowed to say London, England, because Hillbilly Chris Hagan told me, why do you have to say England? Everybody knows it's London. It could be London, Kentucky. But evidently they had an outstanding time this weekend. Pacers OKC. A live show with us on Friday, Gigi's Bar and Grill, 71st and Benford, IU, UCLA, and then the bullseyeeventgroup.com, Colts VIP tailgate yesterday in the Colts game. Great weekend. Awesome to meet Tony and Warren, big-time listeners, viewers, inside the AAA membership lounge via YouTube Live of this show. All right, quick break. We shall return. The stream, the app, it's HD Radio. You know how to get on board here. We'll talk about this Colts team and whether or not I should hold my breath for the trade deadline. I'm gonna. I feel confident something is going to be done. This team has shown you the way. Add to it. Quick break. Back with you. 93.5, 107.5, The Fan.
JMV.
There's a kid in my class that got a boner at PE in high school. He was wearing sweatpants. It was really embarrassing, so this song goes out to him.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Tennessee 0 for 1 on fourth down, 4th and goal at the 16.
Don't let him in there. Don't let him in there.
For Ward. Bobbing and weaving in the secondary in the offensive backfield. Throws upfield. It's picked off in the end zone by Chris Lamont.
Matt Taylor, Rick Venturi. The first wave. I love Rick Venturi. I love Matt Taylor, too. Good day yesterday for the Colts in their win. You know what's funny? Somebody had asked me this yesterday. Really all sports, but certainly football and the NFL. When you see a trend being set, all of a sudden others join in. Right? Yeah, the world of RPOs, going all the way back. The shotgun offensively, the 46 defense. Let's get trendy. So somebody had asked me, and this was really smart. It'd be great if you were talking to somebody equally as smart as the question you were asking me. Because you were not. I think my answer was, probably. So you see every single week video footage of Carly Ursay Gordon, Colts owner, on the sideline, taking notes. Is this trendy? Now, I know some of these others may never, ever feel the need to do it, but is this at all trendy? Right? Isn't it a part of this whole process they talk about all the time? Well, it's a part of the process. Or going all the way back, and I reference Bull Durham in quotes from that 1988 film all the time as well. If the reason why you're taking notes on the sideline, if you're winning or you're on a streak, maybe that's the reason. So why stop doing it? And I know that she's not doing it because of that. But does that level now of understanding or being a part of it on the sideline, is that, because I don't know where else it exists. Maybe it does, and maybe we're not paying attention. Maybe we do because it happens here. See? That's why I got to lean on somebody else, because when I was asked that yesterday, my answer was, probably. Well, that was an interesting question. Yeah, I mentioned this, Unique and Organic, tomorrow. My show is going to be live at the Carmel location. I want to say this is on Keystone Way in Carmel, the Carmel location of Goodwill. You know how much I love Goodwill. I love Goodwill. But I'm also going to be helping out the Colts donation drive tomorrow. So that's coming up tomorrow. You can stop by between 4 and 6 with your donations. I'm going to be there from 3 until 6. Actually, I'll be there before because I will be combing over the store. That is a good one right there, too, let me tell you. But the reason why I love it is because Unique and Organic Radio, and that's what all the radio nerds that have never done it but tell me how to do it always say, or they're compelled to say. And this all kind of happened because I was talking about it. Innocently enough, I lose a lot of weight. I need to find clothes, and it has been outstanding. I needed to take my old clothes someplace to make some room for the new clothes. And I will say this, there are a lot of you that I hear from that may be going through it at Premier Weight Loss. You're going through a lot of these similar circumstances. So let's all come together for a great cause tomorrow. The Goodwill location in Carmel. The Colts donation drive and me hanging out. I would love to see. I have stuff to give away, as we always do. 1122 Keystone Way in Carmel coming up tomorrow. 4 until 6, your donations. Colts cheerleaders, I think Blue is going to be there. He's going to be looking for some new stuff, too. I love it. They have everything, not just necessarily clothes either, but everything that you're looking for. I am a huge lover of our Goodwill locations here throughout the state of Indiana, and the one in Carmel will be there live. I'll be there live beginning at 3 tomorrow. I cannot wait. Yeah, shout out to BT Dew, who won tickets from Kaylin Jackson yesterday. One of the Ursay daughters. That's a well done. Corey Kenny writes this, random fact, JMV. Joe Klatt was on my flight from Denver to Indy on Thursday. Yeah, I heard them mention, he and Gus mentioned on the IU broadcast that there were no hotels available in Bloomington, so the Fox crew had to stay in Indy. Yeah, everybody's excited about IU football, and why not? All right, 239-1070. Eddie Gill coming up at the top of the hour. I have a lot of room for calls and a lot of stuff to give away. We have Everclear tickets to give away, correct? Is that just Everclear and that show, or is it Everclear and?
So we have a pair for Everclear to give away. We also have a pair for the Used to give away as well.
Ooh, the Used. Well done right there. Gave away some for Yes at the Brown County Music Center on Saturday night on the JMV Takeover, too. Well, Yes, later on this week at the Brown County Music Center. So, yeah, Everclear and the Used, not together, but separately, tickets to give away a little bit later on in the show. All right, 239-1070. Hey, by the way, tomorrow, Boomer Esiason's on the show coming up tomorrow. Ian Eagle's going to join us coming up on Wednesday. And I also wanted to remind you initially, and I think there was a promo running here, that we were going to be at Twin Peaks in Greenwood for Halloween on Friday, and we're all dressing up. We're all going to costume this up. We are going someplace on Friday because it's Halloween that is haunted. So we're going to the Slippery Noodle on Friday. Let's costume it up. I mean, hell, I got stuff to give away for the best costume, so why not? Everybody's going to be out, right? Anyway. The Haunted and Legendary, or the Legendary and Haunted, Slippery Noodle on Friday. Bud Light Blue Friday. Of course, we have Colts tickets to give away, but costume it up for Halloween. I have not figured out what I am going to do. It was Gordon Gekko a year ago of Wall Street.
I still suggest you should go as Fat JMV.
Fat JMV. That seems like a lot of work to be Fat JMV again.
I mean, just take up some of your old clothes, stick a couple pillows underneath the shirt. There you go.
That's nice. My daughter Lainey said, why don't you go as Michael McDonald? And that also was a lot of work. He has nothing real that's distinctive other than his beard and his voice. I don't have his voice. I don't have his beard. I could recreate his beard. I thought maybe going as Crockett from Miami Vice, maybe a white suit and a turquoise blue undershirt and slip-on shoes with no socks.
I could see that.
Maybe. You guys can help me out on that, too. See, I need a lot of your help. A little Monday helper for JMV on this show. 239-1070 is that number. The lead on a Monday, every Monday, our good friend Mike is in Brooklyn, New York. Hello, Mike.
What's up, JMV?
Are we not holding our breath, or are we? I'm going to hold my breath because I absolutely believe that a move is going to be made. You agree?
Yeah, I'm very encouraged by that, JMV. Yeah, you read my mind. I've been holding my breath for weeks now, and I'm with you. I think Ballard in this hierarchy, this season they've just made moves to address needs. They bring Abdullah. If you're not shaky with the running back, you bring Abdullah in. You bring Larry in, the safety. You got a safety going down, and you got a 7-1 team. And on the D line and secondary, we're playing with practice squad level players. It's just unacceptable. And Ballard is not that stupid. So the question is, I want him to think big because I think he's got to address both. And even further, if he wants to go further, cover linebacker or something, because that's really what's necessary right now.
So,
it's
you're
total ballad
thinking
watch.
multi-defensively, and I don't mind that either. Because I think you have to take full advantage of your position right now. Even if there are some non-believers,
Absolutely.
and even if you're the old school thinker of, well, there's still a lot of season to go, you have positioned yourself through the first 8 weeks of the season better than anybody else. So take advantage of it.
Absolutely. For me, there's only one goal. There's usually only one goal every season for me. But what does this look like? Because for me, it's whatever it takes for Ballard. Ballard, whatever it takes. You know, all you have to do is look at that Packer game last night and see the havoc that Micah Parsons wrecked on that game. And think of Brian Gutekunst. Do you think he's saying to himself, well, you know, I gave up 2 first-rounders there and a player. I don't know if I overpaid. No, he's thinking, I don't care about those draft picks. They're going to be the 32nd pick in the draft anyway. So what do I care? So that's, I think, the mindset that Ballard definitely has to have. You can go back to being, you know, the same Ballard after this year. You know, Ballard trades away his first-round picks anyway. So he's very well adept at finding players in the middle rounds. I would say my thought is, you know, if you have to include a player like Anthony Richardson or A.D. Mitchell, throw them in too, because those two guys both definitely need a fresh start somewhere else. And I don't know if you're going to get any other value from Richardson than right now as just like a throw-in so that he can go and, you know, finish his career. Did you see A.D. Mitchell yesterday? And I know it was garbage time, but he didn't even make an effort on that play. Well, Riley Leonard's pass that was almost intercepted. I mean, you put the guy in, and he looks like he's just disinterested. So somebody maybe is going to say, you know what? These guys, they all have intel on each other's teams. We'll take a shot at his potential that we can, you know, turn him around. And if you can flip that into defensive help, absolutely do it. Because that's really what it is for me right now. This is, you know, you got me into the Gene Kranz thing, and that's Ballard's idea. It's got to be failure is not an option. Just go all out. That's what this whole season is about.
I think we all should feel the same way, and normally we do. If you're a fan or me covering the team, we normally feel that what matters the most is what matters in our bubble of immediacy or right now. But I think that is true with this year. I don't give a damn what happens next year. Look at the same way with the Pacers. I mean, look how you took advantage of that, and now, you know, look at the absolute FUBAR landscape that's going on that you're dealing with right now. You're not promised a damn thing. So if you did learn from the Pacers run and what they gathered with momentum and the fan base here, you also should learn from year to year. This is the type of crap that can happen.
Yep, absolutely. So JMV, I'm gonna be closely monitoring you and all you guys.
You got it, buddy.
Guys there, Chappell and Joel Erickson, and everything. The hopes and dreams of everybody hangs in the balance, Ballard. So do what you got to do here.
I'm going to be closely monitored. I need closely monitored, Mike, to be honest with you. Thanks, buddy.
All right, take care.
Mike in Brooklyn, New York is always a leader on a Monday. All right, 239-1070, your calls. You can play off of that on the other side. Eddie Gill coming up at the top of the hour, the former NBA guard, Pacers radio and TV networks, and a lot more for you. A ton of stuff to give away. Goodwill tomorrow, the donation drive with the Colts. But again, it is just a point to the greatness of Goodwill, and a big thank you from me in what they have represented and meant to me for the past couple of years, and what they have meant certainly to a lot of you in Central Indiana, and may even in the future. And I'll tell you why and why you need to be there. That's coming up on the other side. 239-1070 is that number. It is the text line at 317-239-1070 as well. 93.5-107.5 The Fan.
5, The Fan.
Now it's 3rd and 13 after the penalty. Moving back to the 38-yard line. Colts in their own territory. Colts need the 49-yard line of Tennessee for a first down. Three receivers go left. Jones backs to throw. Stands tall, and it's into Rainbow downfield for Alec Pierce. And
He got it. He got it. He got it.
What a tremendous grab as he had a defender draped all over him, and he boxed him out like a basketball player. Makes the catch down around the 12-yard line, and it's a gain of 50 for Alec Pierce.
Now that's Rick Venturi and Matt Taylor. That was the Colts Radio Network yesterday. Big time win in a big way, not against a very good opponent. We know that. But what you do in this is you do what you're supposed to do. But then, you pile it on. You do that with authority. 38-14 is the final. Pittsburgh coming up next on the schedule. We'll get to that in just a bit, too. The spreadability of Win Schulers. Got that going for you. Hey, shout out to Gritty. Gritty was down in Evansville, Vanderburgh County, and pointed out that indeed the spreadability is down there at the Meyer location in Evansville. That is the spreadability of Winshula's original sharp cheddar bacon and cheddar and jalapeno pepper. It is fantastic snacking going on. And as I mentioned too, and you guys are doing this, if you're grilling out, maybe a burger, slap some Winshula's on a burger and then thank me later. True story. Windschuler spreadability. Favorite Meyer location, Gordon Food Service, or you can follow Gritty around, and Gritty will show you exactly in Evansville where you can find the spreadability of Windschuler's fantastic cheeses. All right, quick break. We're going to come back. Eddie Gill's going to join us. I do want to get you guys on hold here. I want your responses to the game. I know Matt and Matt are on hold. There's one Matt that wants to talk up Shane Steichen. Jonathan Taylor as the MVP. Daniel Jones as the MVP. These are the types of conversations you're allowed to have, especially when you are good. 7-1 is good. All right, 317-239-1070 right now. This is for the text line. October the 30th, which is on Thursday. We have yes tickets for you. October the 30th. I think I said Brown County. That's at the Mirai, isn't it? Did I err on that? Make sure that I got that right. The Mirai?
It is at the old National Center.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I think I aired in. I think I for some reason said Brown County. My bad on that too. A little bit earlier. Mirai Old National Center. The band, yes, this is classic. They formed back in 1968 and have been giving hit after hit after hit, like this number one classic, Owner of a Lonely Heart. How about we do this? We normally do number 30. 30. At 317-239-1070. Number 30. Yes. October 30th, Mirai Old National Center. You guys, you will love this, I promise. Decades of greatness from this band. Number 30 on the text line, 317-239-1070. We'll find us a winner. And Eddie Gill is going to join us in your calls on the other side. It's 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Hey, it's WeGrowHairAndy.com at 317-522-2995. If you want your real growing hair again, it's a phone call away. Darren Andrews is absolutely the best. The best at making sure you reestablish in so many cases too, and maintain your real growing hair. Hey, this is not just a dream or a myth. This is the real thing, and there's nothing fake about it. It's your real growing hair. If you want it that way, again, you can have it. The option is there. WeGrowHairAndy.com, 317-522-2995. Tell Darren that I sent you. WeGrowHairAndy.com.
My dad's boat. You won't go down 'cause
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Goodwill tomorrow in Carmel. More to that and why you should join us coming up in a minute. Yeah, somebody had sent me this. JMV, I know you love to play basketball. Did you happen to see over the weekend when Fox, the big noon team in Bloomington, and Dave Portnoy apparently got out on the floor at Assembly Hall and shot some jumpers? JMV, here recently especially, we've seen a lot of, quote, broke-ass jumpers in Assembly Hall. I don't think we've ever seen anything as broke-ass as Portnoy's. You sent me this video. I'm watching it right now. Yeah, in fact, there is not, yeah. That is incredibly broke-ass. Phew. That's tough. That is tough. Thank you for that. But yeah, that may be the worst in there of all time. Good broadcast on Saturday, though. No doubt about that. Got more for you, too. If you're on hold, I'll get to you. More stuff to give away. Everclear tickets, the used too, so don't go anywhere. Mentioned Roadshow coming up tomorrow, and our Halloween show is at the legendarily haunted Slippery Noodle coming up on Friday, Bud Light Blue Friday. In costume. I'm still searching. Fulton James says I need to dress up as a carton of cottage cheese.
That's a really good idea, actually. That's good.
How would I go about dressing up as a carton of cottage cheese?
I don't know. You might have to get a little do-it-yourself and make one out of cardboard or something, because I don't think you're going to be able to go to a Party City and find a Daisy
The spirit of Halloween does not have a carton of cottage cheese?
I would guess not. I mean, to be fair, I haven't been inside of a Halloween store in a long time, so I may be wrong.
Colts final 38-14 over the Titans. A 1 o'clock start in Pittsburgh coming up next week for week number 9, and they get the Steelers. You saw the Steelers act last night, 35-25 losers at home on Sunday night to the Green Bay Packers. And then off to Berlin against the Falcons. And by the way, Atlanta with Kirk Cousins yesterday, an absolute stankin' disaster. More on that coming up. Meantime, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, in need of all the personnel help they can get right now while on the road. The Pacers 0-3, losers last night in Minneapolis. 114-110 was the final. They lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves. And from the Pacer television and radio networks, respectively here, the former NBA guard Eddie Gill joins us now. Good afternoon, Eddie. How are you?
Good afternoon, guys. I'm good. How about yourself?
Man, I'm thinking maybe I could get a 10-dayer with this group right now. What do you think?
I mean, that's a marginal stretch, but I mean, there's spots open right now.
I just when I think I've seen it all, I don't know if I've seen it all, and I say I'm explaining about the Colts and making sure you start 7-1. I mean, this is it right here. You're going for it. Live in the moment because you're not promised a damn thing next year. And that's exactly how I feel so far with the Pacers, considering just the elite level of accomplishment we witnessed a year ago.
I mean, listen, there's story after story that illustrates just what you're referring to. I mean, the championship windows and competitive windows, even for that matter, they open and close rapidly. Certainly championship opportunities. So, I mean, the miracle ride and opportunity that the Pacers were on last season was tremendous and so on and so forth. But, anytime it can be taken away from you, especially when you're talking about the health of the team and certainly your key players.
Can I tell you, too, what I still – and I thought Quinn said this the right way last night on the television broadcast, not so much in the same words, but these guys still go out there and play their ass off, and that's exactly what is expected. And they are still doing that even through all of this. And, Siakam's playing point. You got guy. I mean, there was a backcourt once upon a time I saw over the weekend with, Talon Peter and Ray J. Dennis. And it is amazing what Rick Carlisle and staff are having to cobble together right now. But what does remain the same is the level of compete. They still have that because that's what they're about.
Yeah, I mean, that's in large part, the heroic plays are what they were last season, and they had to have a number of them to get to where they were. But the mainstay was the ferocity and tenacity that they played with on each and every night they stepped out there, and that's what's going to give you a chance to win. Even last night, that's what gave them a chance to win against that team and their building at their home opener. So, I don't think that's going anywhere anytime soon. Right now, you just work with what you have, try to put them in the best positions to win, and just maximize what you have available to you in uniform.
Of those that remain healthy right now, which is a stretch, is there a best lineup that you have seen so far? We'll play off of that with a little bit more, at least individual position by position in a second. But is there the best lineup they have right now, considering the number of injuries that Rick Carlisle is dealing with presently?
I don't know that we've seen enough in terms of to identify a best, but to that end, Rick Carlisle is doing a lot of experimenting right now and just trying to find some sort of continuity for this team right now, because seemingly each night out someone else goes down and you got to pivot again once you've already created some other adjustment that you had to make from the previous game. So I don't know that we've identified a quote unquote best right now, but last night I was really happy with the way guys like Ray J. Dennis, I thought he was really good in certain moments. I thought Tony Bradley was really good in certain moments. And so I'm sure they'll take something from that. You referenced Pascal Siakam. He's doing a little bit of everything. I'm not in love with the fact of how hard he's got to work for everything right now to get everything done. But man, he's a warrior, so he's going to go out there and do it and not going to make any excuses about it.
Yeah, the other thing that's unrecognizable, to me at least, with this group is just the high level of isolation ball that we see. And it is so weird to watch the ball stop and stick, but with this group, the way that it is right now, you really have no choice.
Well, especially you look at game one against the Thunder, Benedict Mathurin and Pascal Siakam were playing a little bit of, your turn, my turn basketball, and that's not at all what we've grown accustomed to seeing this team do. And some of it's by necessity, and some of it also is by default. I don't know that they're necessarily trying to do that. It's just that, you have these different lineups out there, and when all else fails, you're like, hey, we can give it to our best players, and hey, hope those guys go make a play for us, versus the ball movement, which has proved to be so effective.
Did Tony Bradley make any strides as trying to determine who should, at least for the moment, consistently, hold down the big man position on this team? Did we see any strides made in Minneapolis last night?
I thought he was great in the fourth quarter. I thought he had moments even last season during that run where, not things that jump off the page to you, but things that impact winning. He was definitely a factor there. He's not going to wow you with athleticism. He's not going to shoot the three ball, but he's going to set every screen right. He's going to be right in the right position offensively. He's going to be in the appropriate position defensively. He's going to rebound the basketball. He's going to do all those small things, again, that impact winning. And it just so happens last night he was also putting the ball in the basket. So that even brought more awareness and eyes to what he's capable of doing. I think, just by watching him since he's been here, I think Rick Carlisle really trusts him and all those things I just highlighted. So I wouldn't be shocked if he just earned himself more opportunity come Wednesday night.
Man, there is a lot of stress, and we didn't really go too far in depth. You did bring it up regarding Pascal Siakam, who has played well and doing a little bit of everything all the time. And you certainly don't want it to go down this way at the early stages of the season with him.
Yeah, exactly. So I would suspect those are conversations being had internally. Is the amount of the load that he has, but that's part of the responsibility as the best player on the team, the leader of the team. He's won a championship. He's been an all-star. So he's going to assume that role just by nature. It may become a situation again, hopefully some of these guys get back and, maybe they do something with acquisitions. Who knows? I'm speculating to some degree, but as it pertains to him specifically, they may start having some internal conversations about, hey, do we put so much on his plate and potentially risk, whatever possibly happening him down the road or early on in this season here? Do you try to skim it back a little bit?
This call will be recorded.
For later opportunities.
I am not recording your call, by the way.
This call is no longer being recorded.
No, I think that's me. I'm not sure what's going on, but I just stopped.
You want me to record a new message for you really quick? I can if you need it. I'm right here for you if you'd need it. I would expect regarding an NBA hardship rule with personnel that the Pacers are probably approaching that particular point right now, aren't they? As far as personnel availability is concerned, because I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this.
Yeah, I don't know the specific rules, but man, they got to be getting close to it if they're not there already. I don't know the specifics as it pertains to that rule, but man, it's literally on a nightly basis at this point, and that's not even taking into the account of guys you anticipated being out, at the start of the season.
Yeah, and disappointment at all with the group. I know that is playing, undermanned without question, but hey, can we pick up the pace just a little bit to give some of these guys some help? Who would we be talking about right now?
Yeah, I think that's the one thing, and Rick referenced this in one of his post-game pressures about, hey, we got to focus on what we do have rather than what we don't, because otherwise you're burning your time. This just the nature of it. Okay, it's bad luck and unfortunate, but here we are. So you certainly work on who you have in lineup and try to maximize that. And pace of play is certainly one of them. We've talked about the ball sticking a little bit. I think you got to figure out a way to get more stops and get out in transition and move the basketball and proper spacing. But the challenge again is now you have some guys in different positions where they haven't been accustomed to playing, or different responsibilities that they haven't been grown accustomed to. Ben Shepherd is a great example of that. All of a sudden he's at the point, and now he's asked to facilitate offense and be a little more aggressive, and things that he's probably capable of, but just things he hasn't been asked to do. So some of that will just take time. But I certainly think that at all times, regardless to who's in the lineup, but this will make your life much easier if you 100% focus on the details defensively and how you compete there, and get some stops, and then any and everybody can go out and run a fast break.
It's Eddie Gill from Pacers TV and Radio, kind enough to join us between game. Actually, not until Wednesday they fire things back up again on the road in Dallas. Eddie's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So the NBA hardship rule allows teams to exceed the standard 15-man roster limit during times of extreme need, such as when multiple players are unable to perform due to illness or injury. Obviously, this was something that was used with regard to COVID-19. We don't want to remember those, but I mean, hell, it's like approaching that effect right now if it's not already over that particular mark. So we'll see if they get the opportunity to utilize that, because that Kevin and Chad and company are like scouring right now to find any and whatever available help may be necessary, because this team certainly would need it.
Yeah, and I mean, you need it for, a multitude of reasons. And again, I think one of the biggest ones is that you're not overworking the guys that you have right now. But yeah, certainly down significant manpower. But having said that, the flip side of it is there's opportunity. And I'm incredibly happy for guys like Ray J. Dennis, buying his time, just waiting to get an opportunity. He's been in a red penny at practice every day, and kind of preparing, whether it's the starters in that second unit to play in a game, and all of a sudden he's out there when he's needed most, and he responded last night. So I'm really happy for guys like that. Quentin Jackson, made an appearance last night, after he was nursing an injury as well. So whenever you have moments like this, there's opportunity that flourishes for people, and next thing you know, they've been able to sustain a long-term career because they had these small pockets of opportunity.
Hey, before his injury, was Benedict Mathurin becoming what you had hoped on both ends? Because you could tell, he was trying to lock down and guard, but certainly he had shouldered a great deal of the offensive load as we thought he would, and was performing at such a high level. What did you think about his play before he did go down with the injury?
I thought he was great. I thought he was sensational. Now, having said that, it was just a couple games, so nothing to take too much from, although it did cause for a lot of optimism in what certainly could be. And now, having said that, he's will eventually get back, hopefully sooner than later, and hopefully he can rekindle what he started. But man, I'll tell you what, he's game one, he looked really good. He gets 17 free throw attempts. In game three, prior to during that injury, he looked really good. So yeah, I anticipated him looking somewhat like this with Tyrese Halliburton being out, knowing he's going to have greater responsibility and he'll get more opportunity, a longer extended run. And he certainly was taking advantage of it prior to injury.
All right, so Eddie Garrison just sent me this. Have to have 4 players miss at least 3 games with an injury. 3 of those 4 players have to be out a mandatory of 2 weeks. Tyrese Halliburton and T.J. McConnell meet the first criteria. After Wednesday's game, Andrew Nemhard and Johnny Furphy will become eligible too. Benedict Mathurin will be eligible for that after Friday's game. So, yeah, there's some there's some dark moments right there that I just brought up. That doesn't sound good whatsoever, does it?
No, not at all. Not at all. Last season they had some injury issues, but early on, but nothing of this magnitude. And I don't know that many teams have experienced this very often at all. Anyway, so a glass half full of it is a couple things. Again, some other guys get opportunity, and B, it's not only is it early in the season, it's at the very start of the season. So in theory, these guys will recover, and there may be some ground to make up. But they'll in theory have some time to do that.
All right. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Get back to it, and we'll do it again very soon, man. Enjoy the rest of the road trip. We'll see you back coming up on Friday.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
It's Eddie Gill, Pacers Radio and Television, the former NBA guard on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. And thanks to Eddie Garrison for bringing that up, but that's, ain't even thinking about that. It's terrible. Terrible. Cam Jones in the same group as Halliburton and McConnell. Talon Peters in the same category as Mathurin. That's a hell of a team right there. That we named, not so much that group, but the names we had mentioned already. Incredible stuff. IU 56-6 over UCLA. Purdue a 27-24 loser to Rutgers. Ball State a 21-7 loser to Northern Illinois. That all taking place over the weekend. I will say this. I don't know if this has taken place. I got a text. I may have mentioned this on Friday's show. But Matthew Graves, the head coach of Indiana State, had texted me on Friday, late Friday, saying, hey, it looks like I may get out of here relatively soon, but I'm feeling a lot better. And that was great news. Friend of this show from our Indiana State University, the Sycamores, the head coach. Matthew Graves had triple bypass and sent me a nice text saying he was feeling better as of late Friday. So hopefully that is the case right there. All right, exhibition play for IU and Purdue. We get to that in World Series game number 3 coming up later on tonight at 8 o'clock. Chavez Ravine in L.A. with the Blue Jays and the Dodgers best of 7 tied at a game piece. Game 3 coming up later on tonight at 8 o'clock. It is Tyler Glasnow and Max Scherzer, the mound matchup for the Dodgers and the Jays, respectively. Quick break. We'll come back. Your calls on the other side. A lot of stuff to give away, too. So hang tight for that. And a very special Tuesday road show for us all tomorrow. I shall explain that as well. 239-1070. The text line at 317-239-1070 as well. The AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live. And up next, the Colts Daily Update. It's 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
You gonna stare all day or you gonna buy something?
I'm gonna stare all day.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Two receivers far side, one near. You're gonna throw it this. It's picked up by Aiden Fisher. He's gonna go the distance. Touchdown! And immediately Indiana comes up with a tremendous play. Aiden Fisher picks off the pass and runs it in the end zone for a touchdown, and Indiana takes the lead.
That is Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers. That was a tremendous start for IU against UCLA. Aiden Fisher, by the way, went out of that game with an injury, and Curt Cignetti earlier today on his press conference, Monday presser, described Aiden Fisher in probable fashion for that Maryland game coming up on Saturday. Number 2, Indiana and Maryland, 3:30. It's a road game. College Park for the second-ranked Hoosiers. Boilermakers at number 21, Michigan. Number 12, Notre Dame at Boston College. Coming up is November the 1st games for you this Saturday. But again, Aiden Fisher is probable, according to his head coach, Curt Cignetti. And a shout-out to Don Fisher and Susie Fisher. What a great time we had at our table in Burgersville, our usual spot on Friday. And I didn't do it, but they had halibut. The special was halibut. I did not pull the trigger on the halibut, and I was disappointed in my decision-making. I decided to drink a couple of beers instead.
I don't think I've ever had halibut, so I don't know if you made a good choice
Halibut
or bad.
is halibut and scallops, my favorite form of seafood.
I could go down for some scallops.
I love scallops, but halibut is at the top of the list. They had it. Voice of the Hoosiers went for it. I didn't. Hey, JMV, are the Colts really legit Super Bowl contenders? Can't believe I'm saying that, but they may be. Kansas City, I still feel, is the team to beat. Hey, there's a lot of season left. That doesn't mean, well, look what happened already this season. They're good enough. That's why you make yourself better. That's why you go out and find yourself some defensive help. I think we all know this. We know that this offense is legit. This offense is better than anybody else's so far this year. That is legitimate. This defense, what this allows you with the way the offense is played is to really put under a microscope what is necessary with this defense, and it really doesn't take that much to find. You take advantage of it, and you get help right now, prior to the trade deadline. And I'm going to go ahead and hold my breath because I believe it to happen. Rex Hampton says, go as a skinny version of the Rascal Flatts lead singer. Thank you. David Rowe writes this, even morons who were celebrating Miles Turner leaving can't be happy with the dead weight playing center right now. I don't think 0-82 following a finals run has ever been done. Maybe we see it. Yeah, not everybody. Sir, you got to recognize, even if you were a staunch hater of Miles Turner, Legos, lack of rebounds, all of that, you can't like it. Now, maybe you did like the way Tony Bradley played yesterday, and maybe he is going to be the consistent player in that situation to take off. But I mean, it'd be tough to make that call right now, but anybody else been awful. Large season to go there as well. JMV, one takeaway you could probably lean on from the Baylor game, free throw percentage. I will say this. I'll say free throw percentage and maybe some defense too, a little bit of defense. Because that's what, for one season, they were known as, and that's, they played a little defense and they were able to shoot. I'm talking about, DeVries and company. That's his teams were able to do that at Drake and one season in West Virginia. But yeah, free throws, it is nice to see them knock them down. 21 of 22, I think somewhere in that neighborhood is what it was. We haven't seen an average free throw shooting team in what seems like 20 years. That's from RC. I would agree with that. Just getting out in front of people and playing tougher competition is a big deal. And when Matt Painter came on this show going back to last Tuesday, that's why he wanted to go to Rupp. That's why he had gone to Creighton and Arkansas the 2 years prior. To see what you got. See what you're dealing with. Give others some run. So I'd agree with the free throw shooting thing. JMV was an epic weekend experience, so I go to the Indiana and Colts football games. The Hoosier Game Day Lager at Memorial Stadium is a great beer, and the prime rib sandwich in the club section at Lucas Oil Stadium is the bomb. The prime rib sandwich, huh? Matty Matt? The Hoosier Game Day Lager. So well done. Got a big day coming up tomorrow. I shall explain. 239-1070. Let's get Matt on board here, James. Hello, Matt. How are you? Thanks for the call.
Doing well, James, or JMV. Just unpopular opinion, getting teed up for the Dodgers game tonight.
Yes.
Pretty excited for that
Y'all,
one.
you're a Dodger guy, are you? Now, how far back do you go with the love for the Dodgers?
So my grandfather passed away in 1985, and he said, if I teach you anything before I die, it's not to be a damn Cubs fan.
Gotcha.
And it just kind of stuck.
So why the Dodgers? Because he was a Dodgers fan, is that why?
He was a Dodgers fan going back to the Brooklyn days.
Sure. Makes sense.
And he loved to see Tommy Lasorda go off on the umpires.
Well, I certainly miss the old National League West. I miss the Reds and the Dodgers and the Braves and the Padres and the Astros and the Giants.
Yep.
Well, National League West was the best.
Yep. And one other thing, I could probably help you on the costume thing, but I'm not sure it's something one dude trades with another dude. We had our party this weekend, and I went as high school PE teacher Lisa from Weird Science. The costume was legit. I'm not going to say I did it any favors, but it was pretty awesome.
You went as Kelly LeBrock?
Kelly LeBrock, yes, sir.
Wow.
It was a little chilly, I'll give you that too, but it worked out well.
See, I think part of developing a costume idea is having people be able to recognize it. And when my daughter came up with, hey, go as Michael McDonald, I don't think that would be recognized just like some other bearded dude, because there's nothing that really stands out in what he wears. It's the voice and the beard. So I was like, did they recognize who you were right off?
I was with a bunch of Gen Xers, so they did. They didn't really recognize my wife, who went as Buffalo Bill, and incredibly convincing.
What is Silence of the Lambs?
Yes.
Well,
ring and all. She had it down pat.
I'm just kind of wondering. Could you not? I mean, you could have reversed that. Why?
We could have, but we're just strange like that.
That's awesome. Well done. I'm thinking about something, Matt. I think that I want the recognition without me having to explain. I think once you have to explain what it is, that takes away a little bit of the luster, doesn't it?
I get it. I suppose it all depends on who you're going to be partying with. Yeah. Like I said, I was with a bunch of Gen Xers, so they got it right off the bat.
I understand. I had mentioned on the Home and Garden Show on 93 WIBC on Saturday morning. It was Denny and Pat and Terry Stacy and Allison. I'd mentioned that, I said, how about if I go as Mario? And, Mario from Donkey Kong, everybody does that. I mean, that's nothing new, nothing original. But I'd like to go, and every time I take a step, it makes the Donkey Kong sound. And then, if I jump, it's like, when you're scoring 100 points and you jump in a barrel. Now, that to me is that not dressing up as Mario is not original, but I think having the sound effects with it would be original. Would you agree?
That would be amazing. It really would. I went last year was Homie the Clown, but there was obviously one major glaring issue with that costume that I couldn't get past.
Yep. So,
all right, man, have a good show.
All right, thanks, man. I appreciate that. So you think I can do the sound effects with Mario? I dress up as Mario. Could I get the sound effects?
Oh, yeah. You can get all that stored on your phone or something and just play it off as you're walking around.
Every time I take a step?
I'm sure there's a way you could get that figured out.
I don't mind it. Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. I mean, really, if you remember what he looked like when he was dressing up, he kind of looked like a glam rocker. He looked like a cross between Kip Winger and Janie Lane and Bret Michaels and Vince Neil. I just don't know if I could do the tuck move.
Like that right there?
Huh? Yeah. That's like the late Janie Lane right there. I'll start singing Cherry Pie.
You'd have to get fake nipple piercings or something.
No, then he had a tremendous tuck move that. Hey, by the way, tomorrow I want everybody to join me. It is an unusual Tuesday live show. Don't do a lot of Tuesday live shows, but I'm very happy, very proud to do this. We're going to be at the Carmel Goodwill. You know how much I love all Goodwill locations. And I've been talking about this, and I've been very transparent I'm very transparent with my life in general, as you well know. But Goodwill has been a huge part of trying to, with the weight loss and new wardrobe, trying to, accumulate clothes that I can wear. And it's played a big role. And I have been to the Carmel location, this Goodwill Carmel location, 1122 Keystone Way. So I'll be there doing this show tomorrow beginning at 3. Now, here's what's happening. From 4 until 6, you can drop off your donations. And this is also the Colts donation drive. Colts cheerleaders, mascot blue. They say a surprise Colts player tomorrow with me. I wonder who the surprise Colts player is going to be. And I will wear, the way this kind of developed, if you remember, I was at the Ale Emporium up in Fishers, Geist, over a month ago, and I had a contest saying, I'm sitting here right now, because the Geist location at Goodwill is a treasure trove, right across the parking lot from the Ale. And I said, if you come by this live show and I'm wearing one of your old shirts, I'll get you into Bullseye. So some dude came up and said, I just gave a bunch of Ralph Lauren Poe, and I was wearing the shirt. And that's kind of how all this started. So, I'll be in full, I'm sure, former Goodwill clothes. I have taken many, and I have gathered many now. But I hold it very special in my heart, and I know a lot of you do as well. We're going to be at the Carmel location on Keystone Way of Goodwill. I'll be there from 3 until 6 coming up tomorrow. It's the Colts donation drive. Colts cheerleaders, mascot blue, a surprise Colts player is what they say. And this is all for the Goodwill of Central and Southern Indiana. Love you guys. Cannot wait to see everybody out there. Make sure you come out and join us, too, because, again, this is going to be a very special event. We do so many restaurant and bar gigs every year, and I love them. But this holds a special place in my heart coming up tomorrow. Goodwill in Carmel, beginning at 3 o'clock. Cannot wait to see you out there. And, again, for the Colts donation drive, bring some clothes, whatever. Anything you would like to donate. Be fantastic to see you coming up tomorrow. Our quick break, we shall return. 239-1070. We'll get your Colts thoughts, where they are right now. Should they utilize the trade deadline, or do you think that the price tag might be too steep and you wouldn't the way they're playing? That, the Pacers situation, college football, and Game 3 of the World Series also coming up later on tonight. Don't go anywhere. AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live. Thank you, Matt and Matt. It's 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
On the stool because he's under 5 feet tall.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
All right, Everclear, right, is what we got. Hey, James, what is the date of that show right there? Give me all the specifics. Number 9 at 239-1070. We're going back to the phones for Everclear. Great 90s band, James.
That is Thursday, October 30th at the Old National Center.
How about that? That's a fun time right there. Everclear, everybody. Trying to think of the other songs. I Will Buy You a New Life. Father of Mine. I want to say their breakthrough hit in the 90s, Santa Monica.
According to Spotify, that's their most popular song.
There you go. Everclear. Now, don't get that confused with Everlast. Your mic's on over there, James. Hit that mic. There you go, my pod. There you go. JMV, this is on the text line, 317-239-1070. I'm a West Virginia NIU fan, and I did not know this because I guess I didn't pay too much attention a year ago, but at West Virginia, they pronounce DeVries like DeFries, like French fries. DeVries? Like everybody did? They just mispronounce his name? I guess. That's a little bit odd right there. All right. We get a winner for Everclear tickets. I got the U's coming up too. Here's what we got in the 5 o'clock hour. A little bit of Ewan and Min. At 239-1070, I got to get some thoughts on the Colts utilizing the trade deadline. Yes or no? I think I know what most of you will say, but yes or no. Will the Pacers at all be able to dig out of the hole that, unfortunately, due to injuries, is being created right now during a long NBA season, or do I need to double back and look at this season in a completely different fashion in terms of how I thought they were going to be able to compete? Monday Night Football World Series game number 3 later on tonight. And, of course, IU on the road at Maryland coming up this weekend. We get a lot more for you. Aiden Fisher, too, probable, according to Kurt Signetti earlier today. Fantastic IU defensive player that had a pick 6 to start things off for IU on Saturday. Quick break, we'll come back. 239-1070. Your calls and more coming up on the other side. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Ride with JMV.
And the beat goes on. Yeah. And the beat goes on.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Tennessee on the season, 4 out of 10 on fourth down conversions. 4th and 3 at the Colts 44. Ward out of the gun. The rookie quarterback sends 3 receivers left. Shotgun snap to him. Backs the pass. Plants. And the Colts get home. And they get a sack. DeForest Buckner, the first man there. And Defoe in the face of Cam Ward, and they drive him back into Titan territory. It's a loss of 11 yards, back to the 46-yard line. The Colts will take over in plus territory.
I want to see Matt mention pushed him back into minus territory because he says he just referenced plus territory right there. Matt Taylor, Rick Venturi, Colts Radio Network, 38-14 is the final. Colts now 7-1. And atop the AFC South, Jacksonville had to bye 4-3. Houston gets a win over San Fran. They're 3-4. Tennessee's 1-7, and they suck. I'm telling you, this is it. When you look at that, and then I know it's difficult to get a lot out of the remaining Colts schedule. I know you're going to circle the 23rd of November, playing inside the Kansas City toilet. And I'm not trying to get ahead of myself at all. But there is zero reason, if the defense in the bigger, more swing type of moments, or as Rick Venturi has mentioned during the first wave, can apply greater pressure. I'm not suggesting it doesn't matter at the end of games, but especially over the last 2 weeks, the defense has been able to tee off on the opposing offenses because you know exactly what they're going to be doing. But you add, via the trade deadline, a little bit of something defensively to help out. Why not? There's no reason to believe that this thing is going to have a fall off. I mean, Pittsburgh, you watched Pittsburgh last night? The thing that Pittsburgh is, and they're always going to be tough at home, but the thing that stood out to me last night, anybody else gather? Because they look old. They look how my Achilles feels right now. Old. My Achilles, by the way, James, is swollen like hell. Little hoop yesterday after 3.5 hours of bed rest the night before. James Boyd, shout out, played again, man. My friends love James. They love the participation of James Boyd.
You rocking the boot today at all?
Here's what happened. No, I didn't. Here's what. This is great. So I bought some shoes that were higher tops, and I was wearing them, and my Achilles was so swollen that it was on my right ankle was interfering because it was so high, so I wore one high top and then put on a low top on my right foot so it wouldn't interfere. Hey, if nothing more, I'm maybe the dumbest 55, going to be 56-year-old man on the face of the earth, but damn straight I'm a gamer when it comes to hoop. I'm a gamer.
You know that there are probably doctors and medical professionals listening right now that are screaming at their radio.
They all think I'm nuts anyway.
I mean, I think you're a little nuts.
They all think I'm nuts. Like, everybody kept asking me, why are you limping yesterday? Well, my Achilles hurts. Well, why? And I told them, they go, you don't have to do it. And that's true. You should hear what my mom has to say about me.
Oh, I would pay good money to hear
my
that.
My mom thinks I'm the dumbest human of all time. I'm her offspring.
If she calls in today, we need to get her on the air so we can just let her go.
She thinks I am so stupid. Matter of fact, I don't know if anybody doesn't. Anyways, the comment was old here. I'll get to that in a second, too. The comment was old. Pittsburgh while still difficult, can be difficult to play in their home environment, they're old. And you saw that last night. Old. Watt's not the same. Hayward's not the same. Slay's not the same. Rodgers not the same. Got a lot of old dudes there. Atlanta and Berlin. Did you watch Atlanta with Kirk Cousins yesterday? An absolute messy disaster. Then you got that Kansas City game after the bye week, the 23rd. Granted, you still have Houston twice and Jacksonville twice. But this sets up great. And what you have to continue to do is what you've done so far, and that's set your team up. And offensively, I don't know how much better you can play offensively. You're spreading it around. Think about this. This team, I don't believe James looked this up, has had a 100-yard receiver, individually speaking, in the game yet this year. I think Michael Pittman Jr. went for 95 yesterday, did he not? You know how amazing that is with the numbers, the offensive numbers they're putting up? The productivity they're getting in an MVP season from Jonathan Taylor. This is some amazing stuff. But you know that you need help defensively. Do it. Rick Venturi and I had a long conversation about that yesterday. Colts now 7-1 in Pittsburgh. I mentioned the Steelers, a 35-25 loser last night at home to the Packers. They are 4-3. I don't know if, and I know the Packers have a national fan base. I don't know if I've ever heard Pittsburgh sound that loud for an opposing team in my life. Because it is the Steelers, right? And yes, they did last night. For those of you that sent me stuff last night, they did look like Christian heavy metal band Stryper in their uniforms last night. Well done. Win Schuler spreadability, Meyer locations, not just in central Indiana, but how about southern Indiana too? In Vanderburgh County, according to Gritty, we're talking original sharp cheddar bacon and cheddar and jalapeno pepper. The spreadability of Win Schuler's elite level snacking going on. Your favorite Meyer location, Gordon Food Service, where you shop, make it Win Schuler's. I don't even know where to begin. I'm normally all for it anyway, but I'm definitely all for making this defense better. To me, it's incredibly obvious.
By the way, the Colts have not had a 100-yard receiver at all this season. The closest they got was Alec Pierce against the Chargers. He had 98.
98. So, and I think, was I right? Didn't Michael Pittman Jr. have 95
he had 95
yesterday?
Yeah. Weirdly enough, the second closest to 100 was Adonai Mitchell with 96 against the Rams.
Yes. That's classic right there. A little bit of love. JMV, because the Germany game, the Colts' real trade deadline is tomorrow because I don't think they fly back to Indy from Pittsburgh. Well, that's why I'm going to go ahead and hold my breath. That's why I brought this up a little bit earlier. I'm going to go ahead and hold my breath and think that they do something here sooner rather than later. We mentioned that at the outset of the show. Hey, 239-1070, if you guys want to chime in, you certainly can. We'd love to hear from you regarding the Colts situation moving forward. IU football, as I mentioned as well. Aiden Fisher probable for the game in Maryland coming up at 3:30 on Saturday afternoon. IU second-ranked, unbeaten. It was a glorious, and I've never really watched too much of the whole Big Noon Fox broadcast, but that thing was all Bloomington all the time. And evidently those guys all had to stay up here because Bloomington hotels were sold out. Former Colts quarterback, present Vikings quarterback, Carson Wentz, surgery, left shoulder, done for the remainder of the season, according to Tom Pelissero. Carson Wentz done. JMV, the Colts offense has been this good, and the main difference has been the quarterback. Taylor is the offensive player of the year, but Jones is easily the MVP on this team. Now, listen, there's no reason to get argumentative about this, but my particular point regarding Taylor is when you want to argue, all right, well, you have the quarterback, and this is the difference, and then Shane can't be what Shane is doing offensively right now without the quarterback, and you're absolutely right. But I maintain you shuffle in somebody other than Jonathan Taylor, and that is also dramatically different too. I just don't think it always has to be the quarterback. But I do realize, and there's nothing against Jones, and this is not some big critical having argument, talk show bullcrap. I just think that, what has it been, since 2013, the last time somebody other than, I know that running backs in the past, LaDainian Tomlinson won the MVP, Sean Alexander won the MVP, Adrian Peterson won the MVP. I'm trying to go the most recent. I don't think a non-quarterback has won since 2013, right? The MVP of the NFL?
Actually, it would be 2012. That
2012.
was Adrian Peterson. Peyton won in 2013.
All right, 2012. Who are the other running? Well, there's one more running back that I'm mentioning. Tomlinson, Peterson,
Sean Alexander.
Sean Alexander, I got him. There's a fourth. Is there not that I'm missing right here? Or is that it?
Marshall Faulk in 2000.
Yeah, that goes all the way back to 2000 and Marshall Faulk.
Yeah.
There you go. I just think that if it continues like this is the year to give that position a little bit of love. But yeah, not trying to have an argument regarding that. Because you can also suggest, and you're right about this, with Daniel Jones, what we have seen is the spread of the football around, which is why I brought up the lack of a 100-yard receiver this season. Yet, the way that you look at the Colts receivers, and certainly Tyler Warren, the rookie tight end, they've been outstanding. But the wealth has been spread. And the argument you make regarding Daniel Jones is this. It is more about the operation. And that's exactly what Shane Steichen talked about in what they wanted to bring in and what they felt they had with Daniel Jones. It was all the pre-snap positioning, right play, right decision. It was more about the operation. So, with that in mind, as Daniel Jones has been the quarterback that has just wide-ass opened the playbook, we know that to be true, but his decision-making has also, the pre-snap decision-making, the decision-making with his throws, it's also been beneficial to look at this offensive line as being better this year. I mean, think about this. They lost 1, 2 dudes that, were starters, were veterans from the offensive line. And I would argue that Bortolini and Gonzalez, have you missed anything? And I think we've seen Nelson's game be raised. Ryman Smith, you think the quarterback has made the offensive line better? The decisions he has made the improvements, the strides there, even with a couple of new bodies. So there's where your argument, and it's tough for me to come up with an answer to that for Jonathan Taylor. And I know that you go, well, wait a minute, just because you haven't had a non-quarterback since going back to 2012. I just think if there's ever a time that this is the time. Or at least it's shaping up, shall we say, to be the time. Maybe not just yet, but shaping up to be. Just a couple of thoughts JMV, only ballers get why we continue to punish our bodies playing basketball well into our senior years. Well, I mean, it's easy because I love it. And I know you probably do as well. JMV, I lost 100 pounds because my Achilles was jacked up. Much better now. You're screwed. Here's what's funny about this. I mentioned this yesterday. It's almost like my body was more healthy playing basketball when I weighed a lot more. True. It's weird. And I think part of the reason behind that is, like, I am like an old, it's like somebody finds a Plymouth Roadrunner in an old barn, and you end up redoing the frame and the outside, but you got a new engine in it maybe, right? The engine doesn't, we put a new engine in it. So I have effectively a new engine in my body, but the same frame. And the rest of the frame is like bits and pieces flying off everywhere. The old frame. New engine, old frame. Because I'm still 55.
I'd also say, and at least I would wonder this, do you move around more when you're playing than you did?
I move around a lot more.
Well, that also could be part of it. You're putting more wear and tear on your body.
More wear and tear. And I think when I was fat, that I didn't move around as much.
You just play between the 3-point lines?
That's all I did. But it's like almost, I'd go home yesterday. I actually go home yesterday before I went downtown. I thought, what the hell's happening here? It's not going to end well one of these days, and it will end one of these days, but not without trying. JMV, as impressive as Taylor has been, I think having a solid, capable quarterback makes all the difference. These are things I can't argue regarding making the offensive line better. And when's the last time you didn't have a compelling reason to look at wide receiver and have these eye-popping numbers? But when you look even further on the inside at just how everybody is playing at such a high level, you're overwhelmingly satisfied with that productivity, and that is all commonly looked back upon and created by the quarterback position here. Listen, I have no argument there. I just think if there's a year to where with a team, the MVP, and you can go back to the running back of the NFL, it's this particular year. But no. It is, and it is a nitpicking type of conversation that you're having right here, but you know what? It's fun to have this conversation because everything is going right. It's fun to have the conversation about utilizing the trade deadline because you're in this particular position. You're 7-1, and you're 7-1, and the nearest team to you in the South is 4-3. It is nice to have that conversation now. And then to further prepare you for when, ultimately, like this weekend against Pittsburgh, I think we can all make the argument that Pittsburgh is better than Tennessee, even in the loss last night. Then you hit the road against Pittsburgh. Then you're further on the road to Europe and Berlin to play Atlanta bye week, and then you go to Kansas City. Further prepare you for what's to come. I think Shane Steichen mentioned the season doesn't really start until November and December. Well, what you have done, you have positioned yourself really as best as possible. You can argue you should have won against the Rams, okay. But as best as possible right now, you are positioned. Thus, you take full advantage of it. You know what you need. Go out and find what can be a solution. The trade deadline. Hey, James, by the way, I look at that new picture of me up there. What is that on? That new picture of me, that's on the website, or is that on the AAA membership lounge?
Are we talking this one right here?
One. Yeah. What is that? That's the skinny
that's the
picture.
Cover, yeah, that's the cover photo for the stream.
Why does it look like it's like a memorial? Because it looks like that's a memorial for I just died or something like that.
It does kind of look like it would have your birth and death date right underneath it.
Very, very heavenly background. Not to suggest that's where I would be, but that's a very heavenly background.
It does look like...
It looks like it is black and white. It looks like that I just died.
It looks like it should say Remembering JMV
Remembering
on it.
JMV. Huh. I didn't notice that until a little bit earlier today.
Well, what would you rather have your cover photo be? Dead JMV or fat JMV?
Fat JMV. Pacers 0-3. They lose last night 114-110 in Minneapolis to Minnesota. They're on the road at Dallas to close out this early season road swing. Back at home on Friday. That's a 7 o'clock start. So that means 6:30 pregame. So that means Colts happy hour starts at 5:30. So we're going to get a half an hour of loss, I'm assuming, on Friday, right?
That sounds right.
By the way, I did tell you this, and there was a promo that was running. We are at the Slippery Noodle on Bud Light Blue Friday. The legendarily haunted Slippery Noodle on Halloween Friday. Bud Light Blue Friday means Colts tickets to give away. And let's costume this up, okay? If I'm going to do it, I want you all to do it. Costumes all the way around on Friday, Halloween, at the Slippery Noodle. Should be hellaciously fun. So the Pacers back at home against Atlanta coming up on Friday, and then go back-to-back Atlanta, Golden State. And the Miles Turner return game is a week from tonight, November the 3rd. Quick break. We shall return. Your calls on the other side at 239-1070. The text line number 317-239-1070 as well. AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live. On a Monday, the conversation abounds all the way around any direction you want to do it. 239-1070. Your calls and more to close this thing out. Colts Roundtable coming up at the top of the hour, too. It's 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
School with her. I'd like to have a few words with you, by God.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Under center, Jones on first down. They give it to Taylor, left side. He's at the 20, 25, 30, 35, down the sideline, 40, 50-yard line, still going. Taylor up in the sideline. He's got a chance. 10, 5, touchdown! Jonathan Taylor takes it 80 yards to the house. Tight roping that left sideline. No problem for the great running back going right now. It's the longest rush this season for the Colts and for Taylor. The Colts now lead 23-7.
I believe that to be your NFL MVP. Matt Taylor, the radio MVP. 38-14, Colts now 7-1. Jonathan Taylor, 12, 153, 2 TDs on the ground. One, I think, ultimately was described as receiving right there, too. So another big day from what I believe to be through the first 8 games of the season for the Colts. The league MVP, Jonathan Taylor. Not that we have to have a huge, serious argument or debate over it, but that certainly is my belief. At 239-1070, your calls coming up right now at JMV 1070 on the social media platform X. From Kyle, do you think the Colts' dominance is hurting Daniel Jones' MVP conversation? I do not. He leads the MVP conversation, I think, most of the time. Yeah, not at all. Not in the least. He doesn't play in the last half of the fourth, and you just hand it off to the backup running back in the first half of the fourth. I think much like, Shane Steichen, possibility of Coach of the Year, or, as you mentioned, Jonathan Taylor, Offensive Player of the Year. I think they are dominant in those categories because of how they have looked collectively in taking care of their business. Because this offense, simply put, has been unmatched. Now, you could make the argument, too, that because of all three, that's the reason why this all works. But I do not, Kyle, think it does hurt. From Charles, I just stroked some deep threes at the age of 52. Shout out, I'm going to be 56 in December. 56. Can't believe it. JMV, also, I played basketball the day before I had a bad accident. 7-15-11, never played again. I did make it back to work at GE in Bloomington. You play as you can. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. Sorry to hear about that back in the day, but thank you for the kind words. JMV, love the show. I'm 55, weight loss journey of my own right now. I really hope for the best for you. I appreciate it. JMV, the offensive line was built for a player like Jones. That makes everything else work. Michael. Well, I think the offense with Shane Steichen, as he has talked about before, was built for a guy like Daniel Jones. That makes everything work. But you're right, Michael. No question. Tracy is at 239-1070. Hello, Tracy. Thanks for the join.
Hey, man. How you doing?
Great. Go ahead.
Hey, I wanted to tell you, you said you just answered my question.
Yeah.
My argument. It all goes together. Offense, the quarterback. If the quarterback is playing well and he can't give the ball to somebody that can hold that line of scrimmage together, then he's going to have a rough time come third and fourth quarter. But if the quarterback is not making any mistakes, like this young man seems to be doing, Jones, then quite naturally they're going to say he needs to be an MVP candidate. Okay, he can be a candidate, but the season's only half over with.
No, and that's why we're not handing out any awards. But I think it's okay to have a spirited conversation about it if we want to.
Oh yeah. Because the Colts should be 8-0 because they had that game won against the Rams.
No question. But they also could still be 7-1 because they had that game lost to the Broncos.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's true. and that's the essence of having a damn good season.
Yes.
Is that when you win when you're supposed to lose.
Correct.
And then you lose when you're supposed to win.
And we're having arguments about MVPs, coaches of the year, and offensive players of the year. That's when you know at 7. And we're having arguments about, hey, you know what? To make your team better, should you do something at the trade deadline? That's when you know you're having a damn good year. Yes.
No, yeah. You know you need to shore up that defense if you're gonna go far in that second half, because you play in San Francisco, you got Atlanta, and you got Kansas City.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna hand Pittsburgh their head.
Pittsburgh looked old and decrepit, especially the later that game got, the older the Steelers looked. Did you notice that last night?
I noticed that. It's just amazing. When I heard the halftime score, I'm a Packer fan, and it was 16-7. And I said, well, we got 2 more quarters to go. And then when I went back to the game, the Packers had scored 3 or 4 touchdowns, and I said, well, that goes to show me that Aaron Rodgers. I got to give it to him. I've always liked Aaron Rodgers, but anybody that would make a stink like he did when he left the Packers, just like Favre did, then whenever they get the chance to play him, I don't want him to get hurt. I just want them to bruise him up a little bit, make him wish that he'd have stayed being a Packer, because he said he wants to go back and retire as a Packer. Well, that's cool. Why not? You played 18 years for them. They treated you well. You only won 1 Super Bowl, though. You only won 1 Super Bowl. Just 1. So don't act like you didn't won 7. But
Tracy,
yeah,
he and they, I thought, looked, as that game went on, looked incredibly old last night. I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Packers defense, I'm glad they got that guy from Dallas, because that's just ass cream. That guy is everywhere. He is everywhere. And that's what, and he does what he's supposed to do. I can't believe they got him for nothing. They didn't have to really get the Cowboys anything, but hey, that's the way it goes. Yeah, the Colts are benefiting from a schedule that's really good for them, but they beating good teams. They're not beating any slouches. Everybody in the NFL are professionals. So, and any given Sunday,
Tracy,
Cincinnati.
hey man, I appreciate that. I got to run here, but thank you for the call.
Right,
you call anytime. Thank you. I'm just noticing this, James. I'm about ready to lose another game of fantasy football. It's Worthy v. Rice tonight. I've got like 2% chance to win. I am down. I need Rice not to play. And I need Worthy to have a big game. So I think I'm screwed. The win probability against me is 98%
I am doing a lot better than I thought I was going to do.
I suck. Robinson was awful yesterday.
I'm playing
Atlanta.
I'm playing who I think is probably the best team in our league right now, and I'm actually going to steal a win, it looks like.
I suck. My whole band, I had everybody out in a bye week, and everybody's injured, and what the hell?
Do you still have 4 quarterbacks on your roster?
No, hell, they're all injured. I had to give up a lot of them because I got other guys that are injured. Kind of like the Pacers right now. Jeff's at 239-1070. There's your fantasy football update that you don't give a crap about. Hello, Jeff. How are you?
All righty. Hey, we need to give some kind of award to Quentin Nelson.
An award to Quentin Nelson. He'll be in the Hall of Fame one of these days. Is that
I'm telling you, I could run behind him, and I'm a blind man. I know where I would be going to be the goal line.
Well, there were tremendous gaping holes to be going through yesterday. There's one on social media that, it was like 2 lanes or 465, maybe even 3 lanes. It was that wide.
Who plays tonight? Monday Night Football.
The Commanders and the Chiefs, Jeff.
Okay. All righty.
All right, Jeff.
Oh, hey, I got one question for you.
Sure.
On your nutrition thing, your diet thing.
Uh-huh.
Now, you know that all that booze that you're drinking, that has a lot of calories, don't you?
Correct. I know it. I balance it out by not eating. Is that healthy?
Okay, later.
See you, Jeff. Yeah.
Know how I said earlier there's doctors screaming at the radio?
Yes. All right, let me say this. Maintain nutritious ways to lose weight. We're all different. Don't follow my lead. I'm like, if Dean Martin were a part of this process, that's me.
That's actually a really good comparison right
I'm
there.
like Dean Martin. Yeah, Pacers a 114-110 loser last night. Dallas coming up on Wednesday. Final on this ridiculous opening road trip where everybody's injured. You have a lot of NBA games coming up later on tonight. Do I still get DirecTV, the full court pass or the ticket or whatever the hell that thing is for free, or do I have to start paying now, which is crap? I shouldn't have to pay another dime anything for this, but I do. And is this one of these nights where you have it, is it on something exclusively like Prime or some crap I have to have? Because I wouldn't mind to have that option, even with World Series Game 3, Monday Night Football. Wouldn't mind to have the option of watching some late games. You got Blazers, Lakers. Hey, here's one for you. Blazers and Lakers. I bet that's a good game tonight at 10:30. Grizzlies, Warriors tonight at 10. I'm just looking at the late games. It's a larger schedule than that. All right, Joe, before the break, jump on here at 239-1070. Hello, Joe.
JMV, how are you?
Joe, I'm outstanding. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Why don't you set a little group chat dispute for us? We're all little baby boys, and we didn't get to watch him, really. We were just kids. Who do you take, Edge or JT in their prime? Thank you.
Oh, man. I think this is tough. I would normally say that Edgerrin James, because his versatility and being, multifaceted as a pass catcher all around, but Jonathan Taylor has made himself into a tremendous all-around player at that position. And this is something else Rick Venturi and I have talked about, and he's brought up to me a number of times, both on the air and off the air. And what you have to see with Jonathan Taylor is his protection. His blocking protection, when called upon, used to be non-existent. Now it's exemplary, top-notch. And I love Edgerrin James, but I think Jonathan Taylor is going places right now and surpassing that of Edgerrin James. Certainly running it, but he has, again, transformed himself into a tremendous all-around threat when maybe he was just solely a runner. I have such a great deal of admiration for that type of work ethic, and that not just the dimension, that's singular, but plural, the dimensions he has added to playing that position. To being an every down guy if necessary. He didn't used to be an every down guy. He is now. So chat that thing up. And I think you get, and it's not just me living in the moment either, because my love for Edgerrin James. I think Jonathan Taylor is working his way past that. His all-around game is outstanding. And he has built that. All right, quick break. We'll come back. Final chance to get in here. Do I need that? When Schuler spreadability, you need that. Meyer Locations, Gordon Food Service. You got that for a little snacking later on tonight? The question was asked, Jays or Dodgers later on tonight. We'll give you that answer on the other side, but your answer for when Schuler's your favorite Meyer location, Gordon Food Service. We're talking elite level snacking, original sharp cheddar, bacon and cheddar, and jalapeno pepper. For 2025 in the fall, we're celebrating at the spreadability of Win Schuler's. Back with you. Final time next.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
The Used coming on Saturday. Old National Center. The Used is a Utah rock band. James, do you recognize any of these genres of The Used? By the way, number 9 at 239-1070. Tickets to see The Used on Saturday. Emo.
I mean, I know what emo is. I don't really listen to it. It's one of those things that's kind of hard to explain.
What about
eyeliner?
Screamo?
Kind of
Screamo.
Similar. I know what Screamo is. It's kind of similar to emo. Eyeliner, the black hair, and that sort of thing.
Post-hardcore, pop punk, punk rock, alternative rock.
Mm-hmm.
And at lead, Burt McCracken.
That's a name right there.
Burt McCracken. American rock band from Orem, Utah. The Used. Number 9 at 239-1070. You can check out The Used coming up on Saturday night. Hey, check me out tomorrow, the Goodwill location. We are going to be live, local, and late breaking in Carmel just for you. One of my favorites. Big fan of Goodwill. You know that to be true. And tomorrow we get to have a live show, the Keystone Way, Carmel Goodwill. And this is going to be a part of the Colts donation drive. I'll be there from 3 until 6. And we would ask you to join us 4 until 6 to drop off your donations and enjoy special appearances by Colts cheerleaders, Mascot Blue, and they say a surprise Colts player, too. And we're talking about the Goodwill locations of Central and Southern Indiana, but we'll be there live coming up on Tuesday, which is tomorrow. It's one of my favorite spots right there. I'm a big fan of Goodwill and Carmel. 1122 Keystone Way. Hopefully we see everybody there. Thursday, Ale Emporium, Castleton, Larceny Bourbon Locks, Luna Azul Tequila Shots. I believe that's also a tavern tour stop. And then on Friday, the legendarily haunted Slippery Noodle downtown. We're going to costume it up. And if you want to make this a costume contest, I think we should. On a Bud Light Blue Friday with Colts tickets and such to give away as well. How about that? Busy week, but make sure you stop by the Carmel Goodwill location for the show tomorrow. I would love to see you. And the Colts donation drive starts at 4 o'clock. I don't know what Colts player is going to be. They say surprise. Surprise!
They going to get him on air with us?
I would hope so.
I hope so, too.
I'd be surprised if they didn't. Why would you not want to go on the air with me? Such a jovial, fun-loving talk show host. Maybe not the best decision maker sometimes, but normally just a pretty decent dude.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go to you about muscle advice or taking care of.
I'm lifting like crazy.
Well, I don't mean like lifting. I mean like taking care of your muscles when they are swollen or sore or about to burst.
Yeah. Or they all was it Jeff that brought up, what do you do when the caloric intake of when you drink? And I just don't eat.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I'd
balance that out.
I don't know if I'd go to you for healthy eating habits.
Here's the other thing. It's not like I sit around and drink every single day either. I mean, I am a social enjoyer. I don't sit around every day and drink. Randy is at 239-1070. Randy, it's a 12th choice you've made to call. How are you?
How are you?
Great, Randy. Go ahead.
All right. I was just, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Ain't broke, don't fix it. So you're suggesting
exactly
stay the
because
same,
I think they don't have to add anybody on defense. Their defense is way better than people think, and I know what people think, but it's like, look, when you got an offense scoring that high, all you need is a defense to keep another team under 20 points, and they've did that every game. So,
So you do, their best defense is a great offense, and you believe that that's going to maintain.
Exactly, because you're keeping their offense off the field, and it's like bend but don't break. And that's what they've done. And that's all they need to do with this offense. They don't need to add anybody.
Randy says nothing by the trade deadline. All right, Randy.
Exactly.
Thank you for the input, Randy, and thanks for the call. Hey, listen, I'm holding my breath. I think something's going to be done. And sooner rather than later. Ooh, Scott Patterson says after Goodwill, stop next door. Wolfie's is next door to Goodwill right there. I think that's a hell of a plan you got right there, Scott. JMV, you were talking about Jonathan Taylor. I think his pass blocking is a lot better. The deep ball to Pierce. Taylor came from the opposite side to block the safety coming up. He is such a now more elite level, well-rounded running back. He used to be just a running back, but he has worked on all the other aspects. And yeah, thank you, Skivvies. That's indeed the point I was making there. Joseph Fenton Fowl says, I suck right there with you, buddy. I need 50 points from Rice. I suck. Man, I do too. Frank Lucas says, does Bullseye stock up on cottage cheese for you, or what else do you eat there? Well, I don't. I will drink there. That's why I balance it out, Frank. Hey, you guys have been outstanding today. Thank you very much. Hey, shout out to Mike Freeman, too, of Butler, for the invite. I'm going to try to make it Indiana State and Butler coming up on Wednesday at Hinkle. I've got to give the Sycamores a little bit of love. Shout out to Thad and the gang, too, at Butler. And thank you, Mike, for that. I will get back to Mike. It's on Wednesday, Indiana State and Butler. And shout out to our good friend Matthew Graves, recovering from triple bypass as well. Colts Roundtable coming up next. Goodwill and Carmel. Keystone Way tomorrow. I cannot wait to see the Colts donation drive and me beginning at 3. Goodwill and Carmel tomorrow. I'll see you then.